The last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see, and I won't have your name to call, 'cause I will be the last to fall.
Hey, I hope that you guys are having a great evening so far and hope it gets even better for you. And the weekend is good too. It's going to be hotter than the Devil's Boxers this weekend. 90 with a humidity level that's up there. But I want to know where the hell fall is at.
For real. It was really nice. Just 2 days ago, it was like fall. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, let's get right into it. Thursday, September 18th. Mark this. A couple of things today. Of course, I've had all kinds of people sending me these things about finding a body off of 49 on I-75, and a lot of people are thinking that it was the I-75 shooter. I think that's a pretty good likelihood. I really do. State police released a thing today. Kentucky State Police released it, and apparently some YouTubers, I guess, have found him. I don't hold me to that for a fact, but I do know that the state police released a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, stating that detectives were working diligently to make identification because apparently there wasn't much of this guy left. And Stacy believes it was the turkey vultures that came and got him. I always thought a turkey vulture was a woman that was older than a cougar. 20 years past her prime, still like to hunt, but just couldn't land the prey. But that's what I thought. Apparently, there really are turkey vultures out there. So, and Lloyd is one of them. So we're told. So, where is? Oh, there he is. Hello, Puddin'.
Hi, honey.
So, also today in news a little closer to home, I understand that one of the people that have been charged in the Amber Spradlin case has gotten the go ahead from the Board of Dentistry to practice again. So they've lifted that ban on Dr. Michael McKinney. Like I said, it's not my job to sit here and say one thing or another, just to bring you what I have been told as fact. And that is something else. I know a lot of people right now are probably up in arms over that, or they will be. But like I said, until he's proven guilty, he should be considered innocent. I mean, that's the American justice system, period. And it doesn't matter if it's him or if it's this I-75 shooter or who it is. But with that being said, as far as I know, the other two guys are still behind bars. I don't know that they're going anywhere. And all of the prerequisites or preconditions for him actually going to work are still in place. You know, he's got to be home by 5. He's got to wear the ankle tracking thing, the monitor, the GPS monitor. All of those things have to happen. But that's what I've been told. Also, anybody that has been paying attention to the news knows that recently Ross Shurtleff and John Hunt, of course, Ross is the chief of police in Prestonsburg. John is the sheriff of Floyd County. And I really think a lot of those guys, I do. But they've been showing up at these schools, making sure that the kids are safe, because apparently Adams Middle School Monday had threats from a kid. So they showed up, took the kid into custody. And yesterday, I guess it was, or maybe today, the 18th, they had another threat at Prestonsburg Elementary. So guess who showed up? Prestonsburg Police. Ross had said, and you can count on this, you can believe it, zero tolerance policy on threats. He don't give a damn who it is. These kids will be safe no matter what. The Floyd County Board of Education stands behind that. So do the police departments, law enforcement officers. And a lot of kids were getting off the bus and they just thought it was cool. You know, here's all these cops. Oh my God, this is so awesome. And then everybody was like, hey, why are they here? Well, turns out that and I agree with this, you don't take threats lightly. And it doesn't matter if it's made by a student or by an adult. You know, I mean, who the hell wants to go in and shoot up a school? Oh, I don't know, maybe Dylan Klebold, or maybe, the Virginia Tech shooter guy. He'd love for me to say his name, even though I don't think he's still alive. But you get the idea. I'm not into giving fame or anything like that to people like this. I would much rather focus that on the police officers that are doing the job, and on the students, the teachers, the students that are trying to learn, trying to be there to do right, teachers that are trying to teach them and protect them. I mean, how many teachers have lost their lives because of school shootings? Oh, damn, look at that. I've done run out of fingers. Not to mention students. We're talking about kids here, though. You're talking about elementary and middle school kids that are, 12, 13 years old?
Yep.
And third-degree terroristic threatening carry, that's a felony. There's a penalty of 1 to 5 years in prison or jail, juvie, whatever you want to call that, whatever the courts would decide that needs to happen to these kids. Now, I was asked a very good question by, I think it was my youngin' the other day. What is up with this? It's gotten worse since I was in school, and she just graduated a few years ago, graduated from Belfry High School. And I said, Christ told us it was going to get bad in the end days, and here we are getting bad.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but on the top of that, if you want to know what I think is going on with this, because they never found a gun at either school, they never found any hint of anything that would suggest this is really going to go down. But the threat was enough to put them behind bars, and it should be. But, and this is just a theory I've gotten, that's it. It all started years ago, back around 2013, the Ice Bucket Challenge. You pour some bucket of ice water on somebody. Henry Cavill, when they were filming Man of Steel, he went through this. And it was to support, kids with special needs or adults that needed help. That was great. Then you had the Tide Pod thing. That escapes me to this day. Why the hell would you eat Tide Pods?
Stupid.
And now, I mean, you've got these challenges out there. Did anybody ever think about the challenge of actually going to school and trying to be a straight A student or maintain a 3.8 average or a 3.5 average or whatever it takes to get into a good university or trade school?
Yep.
That's a challenge. You want a challenge, there's a challenge. If you want to see a challenge, watch Lloyd around these dolls.
It was coming. Are you kidding?
We all know that you got a thing with Reagan, Big Daddy, Big Papa Pump. Well, yeah, see, look at it. There he is. And there they are. And down there is his woman, Reagan. Now,
There you go. baby.
that is some of the things that we've been reporting on at the radio station. You know, the school threats and all this other stuff. You know, I am a dad, but my child is 22 years old. I can't imagine what it's like to have a child right now that's school age. A lot of people are talking about pulling their kids out and homeschooling them.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. I don't. I think that you've got that option. And if it wasn't, you know, if the state, excuse me, if the state thought that there was a real issue with this, then they probably wouldn't permit it, but they do. They have programs in place so you can homeschool your children, be it 1, 2, 3, whatever. So I can't help but sit here and think to myself, maybe that's not a bad way to go. Now, I was very lucky when Allie was going, you know, she never had any problems. She, you know, I mean, no problems that were different than most anybody else had. And there were nothing life threatening like this. But when a kid says, I'm going to bring a gun to school, that is a problem for me. And Ross had said, no, we're not even going to deal with a threat of that. Zero tolerance. Don't care who says it. And John's the same way, you know, because at one school Monday morning you had Prestonsburg police, and I'm thinking they may have been at Adams. Don't hold me to that. But at another one you had the Floyd County Sheriff's Department, and they were welcoming the kids as they got off the bus. And hey, how you doing? Good morning. Good to see you. You know, glad you're here. Glad you're safe. Glad, you know, whatever. These guys are flipping heroes. They're putting the targets on their back every day, and not just with this, but with everything else out there. Because let me tell you, it's not like that's the only thing they've got to worry about.
Yeah.
They've got 1,000, 1,000,000 things that we don't even realize what's going on. And here they are doing this in school, of all places. And I'm sure that Floyd County is not the only ones dealing with this issue. You know, look at all the schools around us. I mean, I think that Ross had said, he told me that they had, and don't quote me on this, but I'm thinking he said something like 17 campuses in Floyd County with schools, you know, different schools. You know, you got South Floyd, you've got Floyd Central, you got Prestonsburg, et cetera, and it goes on. But 17. And right now they're finding a shortage of SROs, which are school resource officers. And you've got, every once in a while, you've got a school resource officer. They may be here and they have to go here and here. You know, it's probably nothing for them to be at 2 or 3 schools in a day. Making sure the kids are safe, and not just the kids, but the teachers too, the administration. And this is not a time I would want to be involved in public education. For one thing, I'm not cut out for it. I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Did you eat paint chips this morning? I'd probably get sued pretty quick. But I mean, that's just me. It comes out. There it is. No filter. Zip. It's like Lloyd and his love for Reagan. There's just no filter there. It just happens. Can't explain it. It just does. So with these things being said, what I would like for everybody to do is pray for all of our cops, pray for our kids, and pray for our schools. This goes to show, when you take God out of something, you leave a lot of room for something else to come. How much clearer can it get? Now, I'm thinking it might have been Indiana Stace. Don't hold me to that again. But there are schools that are dictating now, saying, you bring the Bible back into the classroom and you teach the Bible. You know, it's kind of like saying, God, get out of the school. God, get out of the house. God, get out of life. God, get out of this. God, get out of that. Get out of this. Get out of that. And then all of a sudden, everything goes to hell. And what's the first thing people say? Oh, God, help us. I'm pretty sure the Lord's up there saying, will you make up your mind? Just being the advocate, so to speak. But now that's some of the latest updates that we
Well said.
and something else that we will report on. There was an incident today, apparently at the fiscal court, in which Debbie Hall, who is Amber's cousin, had a conversation with Judge Executive Robbie Williams, and it was a heated one. Anyways, yeah. But with that being said, let me tell you something. This is something that we are watching closely, of course, and it's not because I want to just jump all over it and play it out, but it's one of those things that there's so many people out there that want justice for Amber. I am one of them. I would love to see real, true justice happen. That means the people who are responsible pay for this. Even though the court of public opinion they've already gavel's been slammed. I mean, if you let some of this go, hell, it'll become like Sons of Anarchy out here. You know, Clay and Jack don't go around shoot just everybody. It's crazy. Let's try to let cooler heads there prevail and let the justice system work. All right, that whatever happens is just and is true. You know, Clay and Jack don't go around shooting.
There goes it.
What was that? Oh, somebody's got their.
Well, he hasn't told you yet, but his phone went bye-bye. Won't even come on after the last show. Won't even work. Won't come on anything.
Bro, you have pissed off the spirits.
How many? I mean,
seriously. And you need to quit watching the pizza man spank the babysitter.
I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone. It's done. Zero. Nothing.
Zip.
Done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's history. So, okay. We're going to put the chat box up here in a few moments. So tonight we have got a short film, and we're very blessed. We're very fortunate to have the lady that submitted this story. Now, I called it The Transit because in her story, she describes what this haunting, what her theory behind it is. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Stace is probably sitting there figuring out the menu for Lloyd's lunch tomorrow, which will take her the better part of 45 minutes. So I can tell you right now, it starts with chalupa and it ends with a Coke. So, or a Pepsi, whatever it is that Taco Hill sells.
yeah.
So, well, I just shot down any chance I'd ever have of them sponsoring this show. So anyways, it's Taco Hill. Buddy of mine I used to work with at Q95 called it that. He said, I'm going to Taco Hill, man. You want anything? I'm like, huh? Anyways, her name is Tina. And Tina and I have become buddies over the last little bit. She has a very interesting story, and we're going to bring her on right now. Tina, good evening, and thanks for being with us.
Hi, thank you for having me on, guys.
It's very good to have you.
Welcome.
So tell me, you don't have to be specific. In other words, I don't want you to say, well, it's at 123 Mockingbird Lane. But you can tell us, this house, is it in Floyd County?
Yes.
Okay. About when did some of this stuff start?
The first memory I really have of experiencing something from the house was about, I want to say around 9 or 10. And that was an experience with my mom. So I definitely, can't sit there and say it was my 10-year-old brain. She heard the same thing.
Okay. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to step out Guys, stay with us and watch this. It's about 7 minutes long, and then we're going to come back and talk to Tina about it. Now, the name of this is, like I said, it's called The Transit, and you're going to find out why, because we explained that in the video. But then when we come back, we're going to have a couple of questions to ask Tina and a few statements from her that we're going to find out a little bit more about this place and how long it's been since she's been back. And you get the idea. It's going to be that kind of thing. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is The Transit, and it is a viewer's story. So let's check it out, shall we? One of our viewers, named Tina, writes the following. I wanted to submit my story, but first, context. I was born and raised in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, graduated from Prestonsburg High School, class of 2000. My dad is a former police chief, Daryl Conley. My mom is usually watching the show with all of us, Sandra Goforth, or Sandy. My dad bought a house when I was around 2 years old. Well, the house is a one-story rancher near the Leviza Fork of the Big Sandy River. Now, the previous occupants were an older couple that had passed away, but not in the house. When I was about 9 years old, my mom and I were sitting in the back living room watching TV. Now, there was a front living room, or formal living room, separated from the room that we were in by the kitchen. The front living room wasn't in use at the time, and the front door had been painted shut for some reason. There was a back door into the kitchen, which was an accessible view to our seated position, and a door to the carport, which was located in a hallway behind us. Now, we were watching TV, and it's probably around 8 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood at night. My dad was working nights at the time and was already gone. My mom remembers hearing the front door open, and we both heard footsteps walking into the kitchen and to the back door. Mom and I looked at each other in disbelief. I called out for my dad but heard nothing. We walked through the house to find things as they should be. The front door not opened. No one in the house but us. As we made our way back to the living room, the phone rang. I answered, and it was my dad. So I asked him, were you just in the house? Now, mind you, these were the days before cell phones. Of course, he answers no, and wanted to speak to Mom. So my mom gets on the phone and says the same thing. Again, he's like, no. She explained the noises, and he blew them off. Now, over the next couple of years, it became a common occurrence to hear doors opening and closing, someone walking on the floors, noises that could not be explained, and other small things. But one day, my, at the time, boyfriend and I were hanging out in my room with my door shut. Now, just FYI, we were over 21 at the time, and we were just lying in bed watching a movie. My mom had moved out at this point, and my dad was at work. No one else lived there at that time, but my dad and I. My bedroom door was not attached properly and had to be either wedged into the door frame or it was put back against the wall. I told my boyfriend that the house was haunted, but he didn't believe me. All of a sudden, my door opens halfway as if someone opened the door to check in on us. After being open for a moment, it shut back. The boyfriend thought that I was playing a joke on him, and I said, okay, prove it. I sat in bed and watched him walk around the door and try to figure it out, but he couldn't. Well, sometime later, it was late, and I was home alone. I was in my bathroom getting ready for bed. In my bathroom mirror, you could see back into the next room. Well, I was washing my face, and when I looked up in the mirror, a face appeared in that mirror. It was that of a young man, looked to be around the 1950s era hairstyle. His face was very chiseled and clean shaven. I can still see his face in my mind. As soon as I saw him, I turned and looked into the other room. But nothing was there. I looked back into the mirror and closed the bathroom door. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I jumped. Seriously. I literally jumped into my bedroom and shut the door. After that, I read somewhere to take olive oil and bless the doorways of the house, so I did. And for the most part, it calmed the activity down quite a bit, but not for long after I moved out. My dad still lives in that house, and to this day, he has never claimed to have seen or heard anything paranormal. Now, a side note, Tina tells me that she is an empath, that she can sense people's energy, and that she's finding out that she can pick up the energy of the living and those who have passed on. She said that she can typically sense if someone is around. The last time she was in her dad's place, that she was there alone looking for something in her old room. She got the sense, and she's always had the sense, that this house is a transit place. She doesn't think the house itself is haunted, but rather it's where the river runs next to the house, and she thinks it's an energy hotel, so to speak. Or maybe they were there for her mom and her. Now, she did tell me that she has a ghost that has followed her for years. And sometimes the ghost is a bit noisy, but she doesn't seem to talk about that too much because she doesn't want people thinking that she's nuts. Tina, I don't think you're nuts. There are things in this world that we cannot explain, things that happen all the time. And people are frightened of things that they can't understand. And this is definitely something that we don't fully comprehend or understand. So that was the transit. Stace, is there places like that that can just collect and hold energy?
Absolutely.
How long has it been since you've been back there, Tina?
I'm actually due to go back for the Jenny Wiley Festival. I'll be in town. So that's the next time I'm coming in. But
Lloyd said he'd go with you.
well, as long as he brings his wife Reagan, we're good.
Yeah. She's part of the family now. She's done jumped in and adapted this whole yeah. Sorry,
But,
Lloyd, you've done screwed the pooch. So,
But it's been a little while, and actually, the last time I was talking about it in the email that I went back, a few of my friends on Facebook might be able to actually put the timeline together, and it's been a while. I was looking at old annuals and just kind of sitting back reminiscing. I was actually sitting in the hallway that I would hear the footsteps in.
Did you have any experiences the last time you had gone back?
Not anything, just, some like feelings, just feeling like I wasn't alone in the house when physically I was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I really try not to use those so much because, again, I can only describe what I'm feeling. Stacey, I know you know this. I can only describe what I'm feeling. Nobody else can understand what I'm feeling. And a lot of people don't want to understand.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, back when this was happening, it wasn't nearly as acceptable. That was one of those things that you just didn't talk about in public.
Right.
And you had told me in an email or a text, whatever it was, that you really didn't want to come out with it back then because you didn't want to be considered nuts.
Yeah.
What was it that changed your mind, and what was it that made you say, okay, I want to tell this story?
This is going to sound kind of crazy, but repeated offenses. Not only is there my dad's house, but the house that I own here in Huntington is almost 100-year-old house. It's 93 years old. And somebody, constantly walking up and down the stairs in that house. And if you spent one night in that house, you would agree somebody was walking on those stairs. And so I
know somebody else got the same thing going on, Stace.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch some of her videos and you cannot count the orbs that are coming in and out. But I mean, given what she does, she is like a beacon.
Yeah.
That just a lot to these people. And I guess that, I'm not going to say you get numb to it. And Stace, you correct me if I'm wrong, because you know this far better than I. I'm not going to say you get numb to it, but I'd say that you get used to it.
Absolutely.
You learn how to manage yourself, and you learn how to manage him coming to you and saying, hey. It's like somebody knocking on your door, and you put up a sign that says, look, you can knock between 10 and 1.
Yep.
Otherwise, leave me the hell alone.
Exactly. Or you wouldn't get any sleep and you would be absolutely run ragged daily.
Yeah, you'd be a hot mess, a hot wreck.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
it's very energy draining to be even, and I can say this living or dead at this point, it's very energy draining to be around certain energy types. And that house, that's, one reason why I would say it was like a bus stop is because there was always a different energy. It was never the same energy.
I'm really glad you brought that up. You said the guy that showed up in the mirror, and I'm sorry, but you're not going to see many more of these videos like this. And the reason why is the plate footage sucks. So we are actually going to start filming real footage with real actors or people that will stand in. You won't have to talk if you're in one of these things. You'll just have to go through the motions. I'll do the voice work. Yeah, I'll put you in there. I'll put you in there. We're going to put Lloyd in, and he's going to be like the sacrificial element. And we're going to have Reagan sitting on his head or riding his shoulders. And,
that'd be great.
Spanking him when she rides.
Yeah, I'll film that.
No. That's what it's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Are you drunk?
No, sugar tits, but I'm on my way. So, now look, it's not the first time this is probably the first time these people have had a pegging, but you're used to it. So, okay. So just deal with it. Okay. So with that being wait till Stace and I start this whole Patreon thing. It's going to be like this. And plus we are going to add what Stacey's already doing. A lot of you guys may or may not know about is individual personal work readings, trying to contact, if you want, somebody that you may have lost and somebody that you love. She's remarkably successful with this, but keep in mind, she cannot control who comes through. Nobody can. And whatever comes through with Stace's equipment, or should I say whoever, that's who it is. Because there's no fudging around that. There's no faking that. It is what it is. So, but the thing that really threw me on this was when I sit right there in your video and I say, now you got to keep in mind, there was no cell phones. 2 chicks on a cell phone. And then you're washing your face in the mirror and there you are brushing your teeth. And I'm like, these plate shots just aren't going to work. But I wanted to get it done, and I wanted it to because I wanted people to know your story.
Well, it's just it's just extra. I mean, because you're listening to you
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell the story, and it's just a little extra something. I mean,
yeah. But
it's great.
I think that we can get, and some of these people we may reuse in several videos, and that's fine. Hell,
Yeah.
look at what Martin Scorsese did with Robert De Niro. God, Robert De Niro was in everything Martin Scorsese's ever done. Him or Al Pacino. So, but you get the idea. I want the stories told, and I want, I am very much a visual storyteller. The
Yeah.
voice is great, but when I can get that visual to add up with it, it's out of this world. It's phenomenal. And speaking of which, Stace, I did get to read the story today. Our next project. My God, it's incredible. It's really good. You said that the person that submitted that is no longer living.
He passed about a year after that.
It's
And
kind of
this,
odd,
this
especially when you
story,
think about some of the references he made in that.
I'm telling you, it was one of the most. I have never seen anybody so upset.
And this guy was not known to be in left field. He was very
No, very
down
smart.
to earth, very intelligent,
Yes.
really good guy. So,
Yep.
yeah,
And that's part of it, when you're trying to express a story of something, and of course, remembering that paranormal means abnormal.
Yeah.
People look at you like you're crazy, and so
they
you
do.
kind of
Yeah.
you
Sometimes
get used to that.
Sometimes they do. Now, the reason, after I was 30 when I had my first experience. No, I was 32. Allie was about 2. And it was right across the road from the radio station. That's where I used to live. And I mean, it hit me in the back hard enough to almost knock me out of the bed. And it kept intensifying. So I brought in a paranormal team. The first ones at the time was Floyd County Paranormal. And I thought, okay, these people are going to think I'm nuts. They didn't. Then I brought in Bill Scott, who was a really well-known investigator. And then Kelly Collins Preston, a really well-known individual who has gifts kind of like Stace. And with the second I knew it was real, when she turned around and she mentioned my great-grandmother's name, who she did not know. And she mentioned she liked pink. She said, was she buried in pink? I said, yeah. Blew my mind. Mentioned some other things that nobody could have known. She did.
Mhm.
I was like, holy shit. So yeah, it was at that moment, because before then I was very logical thinking, very, okay, this is it. I'm not going to say I thought that when you died, that was it. I know I'm not going to say that at all. I've always believed that you go on, that there's a heaven, there's a hell. But I had no idea that it was to the extent that I've learned in the last 20 years. And a lot of it that I've learned has come from Stace, because I've seen her go through things. I've seen her deal with things that I'm like, holy shit. And when I put my hands on her shoulders to kind of center her or gravitate her down and maybe take in some of that away from her, or try to, I can feel it. And it's not something that I'm thinking I'm feeling. It's something I literally feel. It's coming through me. And I'm like, I've never got that with anybody else. But that day up there in Wolfe County at that lake, I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that,
Me either.
as long as I live. It was
These experiences tend to stick with you. Like,
They do.
I said that kid's face. I could, if I could have like a police sketch artist sit down with one, I could probably to a T describe this kid's face still.
given where the house was at, and you said he looked like he was from the 50s.
Mhm.
What happened in that area in 1958?
Well, that's actually, I saw my mom post in the chat that it's not far from the bus crash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I did not even think about that, Tina, until I was actually putting that video together. And I was sitting there, I was going, because, of course I looked up ghostly kid, 1950s haircut, and you saw what I got. I said, that dude's older than Methuselah. I said, hell, he still gets up in the morning, goes outside and milks the cow. God knows what else he's milking. But then it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it just came into my head, and it wouldn't quit. It said, school bus wreck, school bus accident.
Yeah.
Bus number 27. 27 people died. 27. Yes. Yes, like one of these boys right there.
Yeah, like, okay, so the kid with kind of the tall one in the back, that's not him, but
That
that's
looked similar.
close. That's his hair was more like the kid at the bottom was his hair. It was a comb over.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So he had it
but
parted on the side.
yeah.
And he had red hair.
And then he had,
Red
but
hair.
his face was real chiseled like the other guy. I mean, he had very
A very
dense bone structure.
Very defined.
Yeah,
Yes.
talking it made me picture like reddish, little like reddish hair. But I saw what you're talking about. This is actually pictures. This is actually the movie from.
The very worst thing.
Yeah. You can block that light out for me. There you
I
go.
remember mom's told me stories about it. I mean, obviously it was well before my time, but
Yeah.
My family were there.
Mhm.
I'd known a lot of people I went to school with, their grandparents or parents somehow, were affected by it, which is,
I know
the same
people
thing
that
here in Huntington.
I know people who had family there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
my papa was there. They put one of his boats in the water too.
That's so crazy. But yeah, she had mentioned that. So when I say I jumped across the floor, the hallway was maybe 1.5 feet wide. I know my feet didn't touch the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
I went in my bedroom, I called my mom, and I told my mom what was happening. And that was one of the first things she had mentioned. She was like, well, the bus crash didn't happen far from your dad's house. And I'm like, oh, well, that might actually fit because I'm terrible with age, but he definitely was in his late teenage, early 20s. No doubt.
Yeah.
I've worked with college students for 15 years. They all look like babies, but I know this kid was in that frame.
Well, I just had that struck my mind so hard. I mean, it kept saying bus 27, 27 victims, 1958. Or it didn't say 19, it said 58. 27, 27, 58, 27, 27. Like somebody was trying to tell me something, and I got it right off the bat. I was like, that's the Floyd County school bus disaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Stace and I were looking at going there a while back, and she was going to do her thing, and I was going to film it and maybe put together a, kind of like a memoriam, some kind of a thing to pay respect to the families and to the victims.
That's awesome.
Because I'm very big on that. I do. But then that hit me, and I was like, is that who she's seeing? Is she seeing one of the victims?
Could be.
Could be. We don't know for sure, but it's a thought. It's a theory. So,
Yeah.
So anyways, it's a theory. So with that being said, Tina, thanks a lot for being on tonight, and thanks for the story. Thanks for coming through, and thanks for being on with us.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm loving the show. I love my YouTube chat. Of course, my mom's in the chat. Hi, Mom.
Sandy, right?
Sandy, yes. So
Sandy, thanks a lot for being in. And
There she is.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Yeah. Well, see, even she said that's what I thought it could be. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because again, spirits are people, but they're people without this. They're people without the flesh. They're people without the bone. They are individuals. We are not this. We are spirit. We are luminous. I hate to quote Yoda, but luminous beings are we, not this crude form. And then I would tell Lloyd, Gordita, you will get me. Huh? Yeah. So yeah. I can't do Yoda. I just can't. I wouldn't. No, I'm not. That's sacrilegious. I'm not going to go down that road. But I do think that it makes perfect sense. Because let me ask you a question. How close is the house to where that accident occurred in February of 58? Maybe a mile, 2 miles? What would you guess?
I'm not okay. So I'm not 1000% sure. I will tell you I can say the house is in Lancer Bottom
Okay.
because
That's
that's pretty broad. If anybody, of course, knows Lancer, you're looking at around 1,000 houses. So
yeah, it's a community. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, then
and my dad doesn't believe any of this, so please don't run to my dad and be like, "Oh my gosh, your daughter was on TV."
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
crazy."
no, we're not going to do that. I'm not looking to the only crap I'm looking to stir is over there beside Stacy.
Yes.
So I mean he's just fun. So it's
Well, mom just chimed in and said it's about a mile or two.
okay, there you go.
So
There you go. That tells me everything I need to know right there.
yeah, I wasn't sure.
And here's the thing, they can travel further than that.
Yeah.
Uh
And water being a conductor of energy.
yes. That's where you come up with the theory of it was a place that would house energy and then they'd move on, etc.
Mhm.
Kind of like you said, kind of like a hotel for energy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, do you think that there's functionality in that thought, Stace?
I sure do.
Okay. Well, again, thanks a lot for being on with us, Tina. And keep in
Thank you,
touch with me. We'll
guys.
put you in front of a camera. Only this time we'll actually have you washing your face instead of brushing your teeth when I see you wash. So with that being said, thank you very much and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Good night. Again, that's Tina Sullivan. And Stace, I gotta say, that's actually kind of remarkable to me. So with this being said, we have still got enough time easily to run an SBS, a spirit box session, if you'd like. And I know that it had been pretty active when you first logged on, or whether when I came back in.
Yeah, I had to actually turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going off like gangbusters. So let's see what you get tonight if you want to.
We will turn them on.
Okay. And again, if there's somebody that you'd like to hear come through for you, best thing you can do is think about them.
Yeah,
That
for sure. I
connection.
saw some people in the chat calling some out too. If you guys want to go ahead, if you want me to call anybody out, go ahead and put it back up here on the top of the chat. Because what is that going off on?
What the hell?
What was that?
EMF's going off over here on nothing, apparently. Something walked by.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Every time we talk about stuff, and it always happens here, especially here in the office, it always happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just going through the speaker too. Thelma? Who is Thelma? Let's see, Angela. Yeah, Samantha, if you can reach back out, Angela's here for you.
Where was it?
I see it, and it's blinking off my glasses. I'm sure everybody can see it.
Good Lord.
Now you think, now she's been quiet this whole time. There's nothing from her, just a peep. Here. Does anybody want to come through and talk to us? Spirit boxes are open and they are going. Let me pull up my call outs too. Did you read what Britta said?
Yeah, I just read it. It would be great if we could get Rusilla to come through. Britta, what was your stepdad's name?
I said Doug. Sounded like. If anybody wants to come through the spirit box, we've got it opened up. You're more than welcome to come through. Aunt Judy, if you want to come through for us, Candy's here for you. And Angel, she's here to speak to you too. We'd love to hear from you. And Rusilla, you know you can come through anytime, always.
She said
Fred.
her stepdad's name was Fred.
Gotcha.
Just pulled up.
666.
Do what?
Just pulled up 666 on the box.
That's lovely.
Fred, can you come through for Britta? Wow, that one just spinning like something's trying to come through it. Let me see. See, yep, I'm trying to see. Corey, can you come back through for Linda? We would love to hear from you too. Can you tell me your name?
SH Artist.
I've heard you come through 2 or 3 times today. Is there someone that you're looking for here?
Lepron.
And stop.
Don't know what that one is. Ross, do you have anything to say to Brooke? She wants to know if you're happy for her mama.
You guys hit a ball.
I heard you guys something.
But it said edible.
And he just said, I sound like he said you're a dick. He don't have a phone, Brooke. He can't.
Here, F.
Here, I'm here. See, it's like he says dick all the time. What about that? What's that going off on? Let me see it. I knew it. I knew it.
Holy shucky.
Watch out. Never fails.
What's she at?
She actually is right dead center, so she's reading about a 5.
Good Lord.
As you see, it's 0. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. It probably did. Oh, never mind. It's up to almost full. I'm telling you, Iris has been on it for the past, 3 shows?
Maybe she's got the hots for him.
Maybe we can put her in the can.
Reagan, what is your deal?
She'd probably go if you went with her.
What are
She
you going
wants
on
snuggle
about?
time.
And he kind on you.
What?
Auntie something on you. Back. Candace heard us at pure ass.
You're old.
Oh, God.
I feel it, buddy.
You're old.
I feel it, buddy, that's for sure. Kevin, can you come through for Angie? She'd love to hear from you. Doggy. Well, now I've got 2 doggies over here.
Right way.
That's the right way, he said.
Mhm.
That's for you.
This just keeps getting better.
What? Way to grind it.
Brian. Yet radio high.
Now everything I hear, I'm thinking dirty stuff.
Not me.
It's like she's trying to say, please introduce.
Hmm.
What's your name? And I'll introduce you. Sherry, can you come through for Madonna? She'd love to hear from you.
For it.
Police.
Fan.
Is that me? Is that what my name is?
No.
YouTube. You say YouTube?
It sounded like it. Yeah.
It really did.
They're starting to burn.
Yes, Kayla. Does anybody else want to come
Hi.
through? Hello.
Father.
Father.
Vire has fun.
Something in husband. There's Miss Sharon. I know you got to go to work here shortly. You see what broke?
I get tired, darn.
I get tired.
It sounded like she said, I get tired, and then maybe a name.
Law at hand edition.
Maybe reach out to Corey from for Linda.
Corey, could you come through for Linda? I appreciate what you did last week.
That was pretty awesome, man.
Could you come back through for me?
Or Ty.
Or Ty? Linda. Did you hear that? So it
Hi,
was
rare.
sounded like a girl's voice that said Linda. Hi, and it sounded like hi something. I couldn't get it.
A day.
Corey, could you come through if that was you for me? Could you
Doug.
come- Doug. Are you looking at
Renvy.
that's my dog's name. Are you calling that to Ramsey? He's a sugar pooger.
Full or in it.
Put more in it.
Hear need.
I know you heard that. Yeah, did you know what it said? Give up. Oh, shit. I'm done. Oh. Kevin, could you please come through for Angie? She would love to hear from you. The scent of man or something. Margie, Angela's here. She would love to hear from you and like to know if you're okay. Encourage you. Hey, Miss Anita. Deborah wants to know, David, did you hurt yourself or did someone else do it? David, could you come through?
Present.
It did sound like I said cousin, maybe.
Carve it up, Karen.
Carve it up, Karen. Sounds like it said carve something, Karen.
You broadcast.
Did it say you broadcast?
Yes. Barry, could you come through for Genevieve?
Forges.
She'd love to hear from you, Barry.
Attuning. Why don't you?
Control.
Why don't you what?
I don't know.
Good question.
Said furry.
Furry.
Lie low.
Lie low.
Hey June, and then
I see his Sandy.
oh, I'm so glad to help you, Mary.
Yeah, she told me that the other day. I thought that was not surprising, but it's really cool.
Why
Brooke,
is
nothing surprised me tonight.
No. I'm almost beyond that point.
After the piss comment, I have died on
guys?
that one. Oh, I needed that. Yeah, I heard that lie low. Can you move one of the dolls for us?
No.
While we're listening.
Here.
What?
Are you here?
He said, yeah.
Come on.
Do it, because we'd love to see it. I'm
No,
just
he
telling
will
you.
not.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. Kind of tossed it across the room on top of Lloyd.
She said, I'm trying to distract.
Oh no.
I think it does. I do. And good.
News. It's like sitting in Lincoln. There's James Paul. There's the squad.
Everything is
That's the Turkey Vulture squad right there. Me and James Paul had this all planned out, folks. We already knew what the shooter, where he went, what he did. We had it all planned out.
Yeah,
And
you
James Paul
figured it out. You did. You said that he'd be found in the woods, and he was. Yep.
He said, "You can't beat the squad." So that's for sure. We had it planned out for sure.
Albert's fly general.
Albert was my general, and he said that was my point. Mama Eva, are you going to be with us tonight? Did you come through?
Seatmate.
That's right. The squad knew.
All
Old. Hush with that. Old again.
Hey, my birthday's coming up.
inside.
Makes perfect sense. That's why.
It does.
You should see the look on his face.
How old is he going to be?
55.
Double nickels.
Double nickels.
Justin, can you come through for Mary?
Not double nipples.
Next met.
Please, children, don't make me even have that picture in my mind.
Dear Lord. We'll get him a shirt.
Jesus, he said.
Chippy tits. Get you a shirt that says Chippy tits on it.
I mean, that would be great.
Either that or about drinking turpentine, pissing dust.
And when we do this on Patreon,
Yeah.
I'm just going to let these roll. I'm just going to leave them on and let them listen to it.
Oh yeah. I mean that's.
her.
Let me tell you, the Patreon show will not be. We hold back on this. There ain't gonna be no holding back on that. It's going to be a free for all. So
Sorry.
I already pre-apologize. Oh,
55. Wow.
Grassy.
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 The grassy knoll.
The way he said grassy, it sounded like Val Kilmer and what was that movie?
Ed.
Yes, you do, Madonna.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to come through and keep it clean tonight?
Good luck with that.
Minifies.
No one here anymore.
Grassy Creek.
This stuff.
The upland.
Pay up, Lynn.
Wait, what was she thinking?
I was thinking that
For
Lori.
us.
I was thinking the same thing you are. Grassy Creek, James
Well,
Paul.
Lori is just tearing it loose tonight, ain't she? Double sugar nipples.
Yep, she's had me rolling.
As soon as you get angry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
Does anybody want to come through for anybody that's here with us in the chat room?
Ed.
Kelly Gay asked if Mikey was here with us tonight.
Mikey, could you come through for us? For Kelly? Probably will.
iOS dangers.
I'm less dangerous.
Couldn't.
I'm more dangerous when I eat beans.
Oh no, we don't need to know this. Gosh.
Dying wick. Rest of
Can't figure that one out.
me nebrio.
Oh, here we go with the singing. It's always a good thing. Can you sing us a song? Free Bird.
Yeah, I
What?
thought he said free bird.
Shut up.
Is that
I
your
was waiting.
favorite song?
Here.
Wait a minute.
No.
Free bird.
And at them.
And add them. Wood was thinking something else.
Oh, God. I can only imagine. Yeah.
The windmill.
Windmill.
The windmill.
X or drought.
Those are your ex is a drought.
I'm hoping it's something else.
Hush.
Full canneries.
Oh, dear God.
Full batteries. Well, thank you. I'm telling you.
Some 3D.
Some in 3D.
Windmill in 3D? Yes.
No, please, Lord, no. We don't want to see that.
Fee.
Feet. Freebird was one of Justin's songs. Ah, okay. Hey, Justin, was Freebird one of your favorite songs?
Die.
What?
Okay, that was.
Died. Yeah, we like seeing pictures of her in the dumpster.
CFO.
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 That's Chief Financial
Her.
Officer.
Chief Financial Officer, eh?
CFO. Chief Financial Officer.
Could be. I mean,
Hi.
hello. I think that's what he said.
PN.
peeing. Does anybody else want to come through for anybody in the chat room with us before we have to sign off for the night?
You Eeps.
Classy X.
I don't know why I keep hearing the C word on that.
I keep hearing pissy.
Are you
See him raw edge.
something on the raw edge? Should have seen him on the raw edge.
What's the raw edge? Lloyd, don't answer that. Just let it go.
Where them lies.
There were the flies. Are you talking about the
Wait a minute,
shooter?
raw
That they
edge.
found?
Yeah.
Did he shoot himself?
Air feed them and shine on.
What?
He
Air
was there to
feed them?
feed them and shine on.
Oh, okay.
They gulped.
Vultures.
Item said.
Who was it that found him? So was it YouTubers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was those two YouTubers.
Yes.
Sheila and something McCoy.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were live, and me and James Paul watched it, and her husband walked up a few steps before she
Yes.
did. They were following the smell and the vultures, and then he kind of stepped down into like a little bit of a ravine, and when he did, he saw it instantly. He saw him.
Me.
Yeah.
It looked like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And anybody that tried to shoot up a busload of kids or
That's what they
busload.
get.
Breathe.
Yeah.
But it looks like to me he shot his face off, because
Well,
the
he
footage
actually,
we saw looked like his face was kind of plastered flat, laying up above where his skull was, and then they'd eaten
And head.
and his head, yeah, and they'd eaten his arm off through his shirt, and his gut was gone. They'd eat all of that. I
well,
mean,
he actually wounded five or six people, didn't he?
yeah,
Now, he didn't kill anybody, but it wasn't for a lack of trying. But he wounded 5 or 6 people, if I'm not mistaken.
and had it all planned out.
Yeah.
Had it all planned out. Piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
In dawn.
What about Dawn and Dawn?
Santos Cedra.
Hit up Daniel.
That hit up Daniel.
All said.
Ethical.
My nickname is Dawn.
Crystal
Gotcha.
said they did find a gun with his body.
Oh, so they did find that gun. Okay.
Oh, they did?
Raw eggs.
All of us.
All of us. Can you tell me what the shooter's name was?
Our
Daniel.
Anak Edan Lacko.
Barry Genevieve says she loves and misses you.
Rariers.
Does anybody else want to come through for anybody in our chat
Uh-oh.
room?
It was crazy busy earlier, then it got quiet.
WHS.
WHS.
WHS or
Waverly
WHF.
Hills.
WHS is the call sign of
Right.
WCHS in Charleston. I mean, I don't know.
Weird.
WHS is also a station in Louisville.
It's also Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Need help.
You know, I didn't think about that. It is. Isn't
Havner
it?
Rot.
What?
Had to rot.
Oh man.
This is getting pretty specific.
Something on the back roads.
Me.
Yeah.
Can you all tell us anything else about the shooter?
or hear a
He's dead.
Yeah.
back,
Can you tell us anything?
Consider.
He almost hit her, is it? Can you tell us anything else? Or is there anybody else that wants to come through for
JB Donna,
anybody that's in the chat room with us?
Team Roller Oil.
Like I said,
not at all.
team or oil or teen.
Yeah.
It is off.
Left only.
Yeah, I see it.
Or you need our
Are those new batteries? Brand new?
Yanks.
Have a good one, Lori. If anybody else wants to
Dominic
come
Rhodes.
through, we'd like to ask you to come through now for us.
Will you sleep for Joe?
Will you sleep?
I thought
Something.
it said, would you sleep in jail or would you sleep?
Something for jail.
Tori,
Flower.
Does anybody else have a favorite song?
it
I'd like to thank everybody for coming through on the Spirit Box for us this evening. We really. What's it?
He was in jail.
We really
With
appreciate.
Ezo.
It's
Went easy. Something. It's Sarah.
Seth.
Seth.
our weave.
No.
Well, he sure can.
Your fee.
Diana would love to hear from her dad. If you could come through for Diana,
Yeah.
she would love to hear from you.
Whiz.
Reese. Her.
Back me.
Whoa.
Me.
What?
Turtle.
While
Or
it's
stand
there.
for reading.
She's standing here reading. Who is standing there reading?
Us to hair.
Say bust a hair.
Please, just don't even go there, please.
Jitterbug.
Give him any chance.
Janitor, it said.
Bust a
Give him
hair.
any chance.
In my case, it's
Please don't even go there. Good night, sister.
later, Tater.
I see.
I see.
Sino.
Your world.
Your world. Yeah, and we
I
get.
need you guys.
I need you guys. Yeah, we got to leave it to us to get the raunchy crew that comes through.
Why?
Okay, I'm going to shut the spirit
Season.
box down. Does anybody else want to come through and say anything else? One last time.
Sees ahead.
Something to it in his head. You're amazing. I'll just tell you.
Fun.
Flowers. Thank you so much for coming through for us. I'm going to go ahead and close one. I'm going to turn that down because she was saying he said my name. Make sure this one's turned off or turned down.
ISIS issues.
ISIS issues? That's what it sounded like she said. Did you hear that one?
Mm-mm.
It's a good thing. I'm glad you didn't.
It's about me.
Nope. It rhymes with puck.
Huck,
Puck. Huck. Finn.
duck,
Outside will not admit.
truck.
Said my side will not admit. That too.
Readjust.
Readjust it. Whatever that means.
TRT.
PRT.
Bob's T-cell.
Bob's something T cell. Thank you for coming through
In
for us.
hand and deck. Best.
DRT. Gotcha. Did it right there.
Let's go ahead and shut her down for the night.
Save.
Jose.
Oh, Jose Cuervo.
Jose Cuervo sounds, I don't know.
Can be enticing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, we thank Tina for coming on with us tonight.
Yeah.
And we hope here in the next week or so we'll have yet another personal story because Stacey has sent me one. And yeah, I think it's great. I think it's going to work out really great. But honey, great job tonight.
Thank you. You too.
And thanks a lot for everybody that tuned in and watched tonight. And we hope to be back here next Wednesday, good Lord willing. And we hope that you have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget, you can always watch the reruns of the show right here on the YouTube channel. Don't keep them on Facebook so much as the YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe and like to that. And if you can, don't forget to join up with a Patreon too. So Stace, Lloyd, wonderful job tonight. And Tina, thanks a lot for being on. And as always, guys, stay mysterious. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.